The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning here at 5 a.m. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
Breaking overnight, a truck driver was seriously hurt early this morning on the I-5. CHP reports says it happened around 1 a.m. this morning on the 5 near Highway 43. One semi jackknife blocking all lanes of northbound I-5 in that area. As of last update, one lane has been reopened. The truck driver was airlifted to the hospital. No word on what caused the crash.
And now to one of our signature issues here at KGET, pedestrian safety. Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School in Southeast Bakersfield welcomes students for the first time in September. But some parents say they're afraid their kids won't make it to school safely because something's missing. 17's Marco Torres has more.
This is the road parents say is unsafe. You can see the road is 5 lanes wide. The speed limit here is 40 miles per hour, but yet people speed, going much faster than 40. Dozens of kids run across the road to the apartments on the other side. The road is managed by the county, and the Bakersfield City School District says it's been working for more than a year to get a crosswalk and signs put up. But bureaucratic issues are getting in the way. Parents have been upset no safety measures are in place.
I thought they were going to build a crosswalk here for the kids, but I've noticed that since the school opened that there's no crosswalk, and I see these kids like running across the street trying not to get hit with these cars that fly by here.
The district says it's been going back and forth with the county. Kern County Public Works says a crosswalk will be made at Cheatham Avenue, a block down the street. But that project isn't expected to begin until the summer of 2023.
This is very dangerous. They need to put something here. There's a lot of moms with a lot of kids. You could trip and fall, and then look how they drive. So this is a very busy street.
We don't need somebody to die. We don't need a kid to get hurt, to get injured in order for them to put a crosswalk. It needs to be done before something happens.
The district says children and parents should go to the intersection at Bell Terrace to cross safely. They also say any parents or concerned community members should reach out to Kern County Public Works to voice their concerns. In Southeast Bakersfield, Marco Torres, 17 News.
Making news around the state, a major development in the murder trial of missing college student Kristin Smart. A judge deciding yesterday the trial will not take place in San Luis Obispo County. Judge Craig Van Royen says that he finds it likely that Paul and Ruben Flores won't receive a fair and impartial trial in San Luis Obispo. He said it's probably the most highly covered case in the region's history, adding that it has been the focus of intense local scrutiny. Paul Flores is charged with the murder of Smart. Investigators say the 19-year-old was last seen in 1996, leaving a party with Paul, who had offered to walk her back to her dorm. Paul's father, Ruben, is charged with accessory after the fact. Prosecutors believe Ruben had knowledge of the murder and helped Paul conceal evidence. Both Paul and Ruben Flores have pleaded not guilty. They're due back in court April 4th.
Governor Gavin Newsom has once again denied parole for Charles Manson follower Leslie Van Houten. The governor says the 72-year-old poses an unreasonable danger to society if released from prison. His decision reverses a state parole board's recommendation that she be freed after spending a half-century behind bars. Newsom rejected a recommendation for her parole last November. Van Houten is serving a life sentence for the savage murders of grocer Lino LaBianca and his wife Rosemary in August 1969.
5:06 now on Capitol Hill. The House is poised to pass legislation this week that could legalize marijuana across the country. It's called the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act. The bill's has near uniform support among Democrats. The legislation would eliminate criminal penalties associated with marijuana, further establish a process to remove the convictions of nonviolent marijuana offenders, and impose a federal tax on marijuana sales, with proceeds funding programs for substance misuse, treatment, and legal counseling. Right now, at least 37 states, 4 territories, and the District of Columbia allow cannabis products for medical use. Cannabis is also allowed for non-medical use in 18 states, 2 territories in the nation's capital.
New data this morning shows a shocking spike in fentanyl deaths in Kern County, highlighting the serious problem in our area. More families experienced the immense pain of losing a loved one to fentanyl last year than ever before in our area. Officials report 232 people died from the illicit opioid last year, an 85% increase over 2020's total of 125 lives lost. Fentanyl is turning up not only as an unadvertised substitute for heroin, its chemical cousin, but in virtually every street drug. And in many cases, users don't realize that's what they're taking. Fentanyl was responsible for nearly half of the drug overdoses last year in Kern County. The county coroner says 492 people overdosed and died in 2021. And for comprehensive reporting on the fentanyl crisis in Kern County, including Robert Price's in-depth series called Fentanyl, the Counterfeit Killer, you can visit our website, kget.com/fentanyl. Charges have been filed against a woman caught on camera kicking a dog in Southwest Bakersfield. Police say Amal Hannah was arrested and released after video allegedly showed her repeatedly kicking a small dog back in February. A homeowner says her security system alerted her to something happening in the driveway. When she checked the camera, she says she saw the woman kicking the dog. The homeowner ran outside and yelled at Hannah to stop, which she did. Animal control was called but said there wasn't much they could do because there were no visible injuries. The woman's husband later apologized online for his wife's actions after video of the incident went viral on social media. Hannah's formal arraignment is scheduled for next month.
A woman accused of driving under the influence in a hit-and-run crash that killed a 17-year-old girl in Wofford Heights has been ordered to stand trial. Prosecutors say Heidi Jeremiah drove on Highway 155 the night of October 25th, 2019, and hit Cassidy Phillips as the teen walked along the shoulder with a friend. Jeremiah drove away and was detained 2 miles west of the crash, according to court filings. Her blood alcohol level was 0.17%, more than twice the legal limit. Jeremiah will face trial on charges of gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated and hit and run resulting in injury or death. Arraignment is set for April 19th. Bakersfield police are asking for the community's help finding a man who's considered at risk due to a medical condition. This is a picture of 40-year-old Alex Quiroz. He was last seen Tuesday on Clyde Street in East Bakersfield. Quiroz is described as 5'6", 200 pounds. He was also wearing a gray shirt and green shorts. If you have any information on where he may be, you're urged to call BPD at 327-7111.
Police say they need your help identifying a man wanted in connection to a robbery at the Dollar World on Chester Avenue earlier this month. Police say he took off with multiple items in this 4-door Nissan with a sunroof and black rims. Police say employees tried to stop the man while he was in his car, but he sped off, dragging one of the employees, seriously hurting that person. The robbery suspect is described as being about 30 years old with several tattoos on his hands and arms. If you have any information, you're asked to call Detective Chris Peck at 326-3519 or the BPD at 327-7111.
New information on a deadly shooting we told you about yesterday. A man has been arrested for that shooting in the death of another man in South Bakersfield Tuesday night. Police were called to Sandra Drive near South Chester Avenue just before 7:30 p.m. where they found the victim lying in the street. Officers say the shooter took off and was reportedly trying to get into nearby apartments. Police later arrested 26-year-old Andres Estuardo Arevalo on suspicion of murder. He's due in court Monday.
Now to the coronavirus and the president rolling up his sleeve for another COVID vaccine shot as the White House unveils a new coronavirus website. The newly approved second booster shot is now recommended for those 50 and older and with those with compromised immune systems. On Capitol Hill, Democrats are pushing for more COVID-related funding. The president says without it, the U.S. could be ill prepared if there's another wave of the virus. But Republicans argue there has already been too much spending.
The White House has launched its website meant to be a one-stop shop for COVID-related information. COVID.gov provides details on where you can get masks, vaccines, tests, and treatment. A key piece of the website is the inclusion of all test-to-treat locations. These are places where you can get a COVID test and then immediately receive treatment if your results come back positive. The administration teased this month last month when President Biden announced additional free at-home testing. The website's available in multiple languages.
Here at home, coronavirus is spreading at its slowest rate since the virus first made its way into Kern County. Public Health reported 84 new cases yesterday, although our average continues to be around 3 dozen people testing positive every day. 8 more deaths were reported, although most of those people died earlier this year. State data shows 29 people are in the hospital with the virus, 7 more are in the ICU. Federal health officials are lifting the cruise ship warning that was issued at the beginning of this pandemic. That means it is now up to vacationers to decide if they feel safe getting on a ship. You may recall the CDC imposed a cruise ship travel health notice more than 2 years ago amid virus outbreaks on several ships around the world. The CDC's decision to lift it, it says, is based on the current state of the pandemic and decreases in COVID-19 cases over the past several weeks.
Throughout the pandemic, local blood banks have struggled to fill desperate need. 17's Chris Burton is joining us live from Houchin Blood Bank this morning, where they're again facing a critical shortage. Chris?
Well, Maddie, across the country, blood banks are sitting light as our nation's blood shortage continues, but we are inside Houchin Blood Bank right now, and the picture is stark. I'm joined now by Rachel Parlier. She's the marketing manager here at Houchin. And Rachel, these shelves are very empty right now.
Good morning. Yeah, thank you for coming today. As you can see, the shelves are very empty, and unfortunately, this has been an ongoing trend for really the past year. Saw fluctuations with COVID, so we've seen ups and downs in the inventory, and unfortunately it has been declining.
I know throughout the pandemic there have been some kind of myths about donating blood during this time. What do you want to clear up for folks at home?
Yeah, there's been a few misconceptions over the past few months, so we think that might be a reason that it's affecting people coming in the door. A lot of it is vaccination status. It's starting to lighten up a little bit, but you can donate whether you're vaccinated or not. And then I think one of the reasons a lot of people aren't coming in is they're just getting used to having a normal life again, going on vacation, they are going back to work, so it's still important. People still need blood, and we're open 24 hours back here, not on the donor floor, so it's very important. People need blood at all hours.
Absolutely, and I want to walk you over here real quick and just take a look at this O positive shelf right here. And you were telling me, I think it's important to characterize just how much blood this is. So what will this amount of blood right here be able to do?
Not much. Yeah, so of course all blood types are needed, but we usually put a main focus on O positive and O negative. O negative is a universal blood type, so there are currently, I can count 6 units of blood on the O negative shelf, which is not great. So we use that if we need to, if a hospital doesn't know a person's blood type, that is the blood type that we'll use.
All right, Rachel, thank you so much for joining us. And if you'd like to donate to Houchin, you can visit their website to make an appointment, hcbb.com. Thank you so much. And live in Bakersfield, Chris Burton, 17 News.
Really is such a simple thing to do. Does not take a lot of time. And I mean, those chairs are really comfortable, and they even give you snacks. So
yeah, you know what's startling is they keep pushing this message that they need more blood. They need more blood. And when you see the shelves and how empty they are, it is shocking. And the other thing that I think we need to keep in mind is a lot of people who receive a blood donation, they didn't necessarily expect to get it. We're talking about people who are in car crashes, those unexpected moments in life where you show up to the hospital and you need to rely on those donations, and you hope that if you were in that position, the shelves would be filled.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.